Yes, first would like to pass along our condolences and thoughts and prayers to Georgia Southern and their football family on the passing of Jordan Wiggins, and know that Coach Lunsford and his team is doing a great job of providing support for the team and that community there. Secondly, just excited about our opportunity to play this week. It's going to be a great environment and a great game for this conference and for us to get a chance to compete versus Georgia Southern, who's got a very good football team. And with that, I'll open up for questions.
Thank you, Coach. As a reminder to our members of the media, it is *1 to get in the queue. Our first questions come from Whitney Hayworth. Whitney, please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to the game on Thursday night. Obviously, very exciting, very historic rivalry between App State and Georgia Southern. And although you may not have coached in one of the App State-Georgia Southern games just yet, what have you learned about this rivalry and how much it means to both schools?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the game is always significant in determining whether it was the old Southern Conference or whether it's the Sun Belt divisions. It's huge in determining who's going to represent or play for the conference championship. And I think that's the biggest thing. There's obviously a lot of other situations involved, but that for us is the biggest significance of the game.
And for you all, you're doing a very good job of, silencing the noise outside. And I know you don't want to talk about the rankings and all that kind of stuff. So when moving forward and just looking at Georgia Southern and your next opponent, what specifically have you seen that impresses you about them?
Well, I mean, first off, they're a team that's got 3 losses, but they've been beaten by ULL, which has only lost 2 games, Minnesota, which is a top 15 team, and they had a chance to beat those guys. And then LSU. So they're a very good football team. They know how to win. They've won 2 overtime games. They do a great job with their defensive schemes. Their special teams got one of the best kickoff coverage units in the country, also a very good kicker. Their offense does a nice job of controlling the football, presenting the option in multiple ways. And so they're a very good football team that's got our full attention.
They're a team that everyone always wants to talk about their offense, but as you mentioned, they've had some double, triple overtime games as of late where their defense has been able to slow down the opposition's offense. How do you not let them slow you all down?
Well, it starts with us executing. We're going to have to do a nice job of executing our schemes and trying to find unique ways or different ways to do things. They're very good. They're very sound. They're very disciplined. They understand the checks within their system, and so we're going to have to come up with some stuff for them because they're very good.
And last question for me, I'll put you on the spot a little bit and let you have some fun. You'll be dressing up as a football coach on Thursday, but if you didn't have to dress up as a football coach, what would your Halloween costume be?
Well, my daughter is dressing up as the greatest showman, not as the showman, but the young lady with the pink hair. So I'm sure she would ask me to dress up as one of those characters. So I would say one of the greatest showmen or something like that.
Oh, sounds great. I'm sorry you don't have all those girls wrapped around your finger.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you. You have a good day.
All right, thank you, Whitney. Our next questions come from Travis Jarman with the Savannah Morning News. Please go ahead, Travis.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Great. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing well. I just have one for you, Coach. I'm wondering how much do you guys, when you're looking at film preparing for Georgia Southern, how much do you guys look at last year's game between the two teams as opposed to games already played this year?
Well, I mean, I think as a football coach, you try to acquire as much information as possible, and you try to watch as much film as you can. Last year's team is different. I know they returned 6 starters, and there's some scheme things that you might be able to glean, but I tend to focus more on what the team is today, and focus on what their identity is now, what are the strengths that they're playing to. I mean, I think even if you get caught up watching a game from the first of the season instead of watching, kind of what they've done the last 3 weeks, you can get some false reads. So I think every team starts to develop their identity and play to their strengths, and that's what I tend to do is watch the latest games the most.
Awesome, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.